Town. I'm your host, LaTrinda Cunningham Hollins. As always, it's a great privilege to join us each week for Join Our Town. I have a wonderful program for you today. I'm sitting here with Mr. McKinday Balahan. He is the founder and director of the Rapha Natural Health Institute. And today we're going to talk about seniors, your health, your aging. And I tell you, that's an issue that is on the news that people need to, more people are aging today.
That's true.
So it's an issue that we must discuss. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about the Rapha Natural Health Institute.
Well, we are a health advocacy agency that dealing with issues that impact health issues. And those issues can be wide range, from nutrition to environmental diseases, to information pertaining to the abuse of prescription and non-prescription drugs, alcohol, so forth and so on. So we look at a preventative approach in trying to make sure that people participate in staying healthy, because trying to recover something you lost is not the best practice.
Well, let's jump right into it. Today we're talking about seniors and their health.
Right.
By the time we're seniors, we've either done a great job or a really bad one. Maybe a little moderate, but when you're of age or you become a senior and you're really realizing the fragility of your body, where do you start to making yourself be able to eat better, to live better, and have a better aging process?
Well, the key to making any changes that's necessary is knowledge. Mm-hmm. So that in the process of becoming more aware of anatomy, nutrition, natural lifestyle changes that will assist you in the process of aging gracefully, because the cells dividing or the cells staying healthy and the nutrition absorption of food are using processed food. Because if we look at the American diet, it's really sad. Standard American diet, that's really what it says. If you look at the processed food, if you look at the kind of food we use, if you look at the sugar consumption, which leads to many problems, also relate to weight problems, but we're finding out that sugar have a great impact also upon the brain. And a lot of seniors are struggling with Alzheimer's and dementia. And so we are organization that's trying to provide the kind of information to allow seniors to understand that the aging process doesn't necessarily mean diseases.
What are the top issues that seniors are facing? Is it dementia?
Well, the top issues the seniors are facing in this country would be health. Mm-hmm. It would be the health challenge that they are confronted with. We are conditioned by the culture that we live in and the type of medical practices that's happening in this country to depend more on pharmaceutical drugs to deal with problems instead of understanding the importance of the cellular needs of the body. What's needed basically. People talk about carbohydrates, mm-hmm.
but
there's two kinds of carbohydrates.
Sure.
There's processed, refined carbohydrates, which adds to fat, which adds to many problems, especially people who have diabetes, because the carbohydrates absorb so quickly. When you get a whole food, and that's the problem. We eat so many pesticides in this country. We got radiated food, and matter of fact, they just signed the agreement that Monsanto now can continue to modify basic seeds that we need, that we normally used to expect that seeds to produce healthy foods.
Sure.
And these particular seeds are causing tumors and cancers in rats all over. All the research is showing that. So what I'm basically saying, a lot of things we eating is really not food.
Well, let me ask you this. When we're talking about health and seniors and being healthy, let's say you've got a senior who is making all the strides to do the best they can. Let's talk about wheat for a second. Reports are just saying now that wheat is not healthy because the ground is not resting to be able to make the wheat healthy. So how do you make a wise and educated decision on what you can and cannot eat?
Well, there's still organic whole foods.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're dealing with organic wheats, those don't have GMOs in it. They don't have the pesticides in it. And so those grounds are healthy. Now, there is a natural cycle of the earth that every 7 years the earth needs to rest. But the farmers especially in the commercial growing business, do not acknowledge that particular environmental process at all. So I think that organic food, going back to planting gardens, putting something in the ground. I know it might sound something that a lot of people are not doing now, but you know, a community garden, a church garden, those kinds of things. I either get in co-ops where you can order 100 pounds of whole food, flour, and it's natural wheat flour, and it's cheaper that way. So I think churches, organizations, civic groups need to come together and start not only doing gardening, but start setting up co-ops. And so the challenge is that those who really want to make lifestyle changes, there's the process of exercise and a whole lot of other things going into staying healthy. Even cooking in certain cookware can be serious. If you got Teflon and the Teflon pots are peeling, that chemical are peeling off there, and you're eating out of that, then you're putting the carcinogens in your body, and you are causing yourself a lot of health hazards.
Well, let's go here. We are talking about healthcare and seniors, and in the news we're hearing about the healthcare laws. When a senior is already on a budget and they're relying on that insurance or Medicare to help fund or pay for the medicine that they have and the doctor's appointments, how feasible is it for us to tell them that they need to eat more organic when they don't maybe can afford it, or take essential oils or vitamins when they may not be able to afford that? So how do you tell the people that come to you that they need to do that, and how do you help them incorporate that slowly into their budget and their diet?
Well, I do understand that cheap food is not necessarily the best food. And I think a lot of people got into the mindset that as long as I can fill my stomach up, then that I'm providing that which is needed from my body. But what rang up at the cash register as the cheapest food to buy might be the most hazardous to your body. So sometimes you have to make sacrifices. You're gonna pay now, you're gonna pay later. So it's best to pay now. And I'm not saying it's an easy choice, and I'm not being cavalier about the financial challenges that seniors have, but they still have to make choices within the best choices that they can make to get olive oil instead of those types of oil that cause saturated fats to come within the body. Now, we conduct workshops and classes and seminars to address some of the concerns that you mentioned. Mm-hmm. This program is a wonderful program, but the kinds of lifestyle changes that they need to look at and the kind of information that they need to spend more time being educated about what they need to do.
How important is nutrition when it comes to aging? I know that you mentioned olive oil. They say it helps make the joints move better. So how can we associate what these different nutrients and whole foods do to the way maybe a senior is feeling and making them feel better?
See, as you age, the cellular division in the body is less accurate. Mm-hmm. Your absorption in the intestinal tract, even though you might be taking calcium, you are not absorbing the calcium. So by you are not absorbing the nutrients that you are taking in the food, it's a challenge towards seniors because the cellular division still dying cells need to be replenished. And that's what the body needs to do. And when we're talking about absorption, let's look at calcium for a second. We drink more cow's milk in this country, in just about any country. But we have more people who have problems with bone loss in just about any place else. So I'm saying the absorption, and some people go to the health food store and they get something called rock calcium, or they get oyster shell calcium. Sure. The absorption still is the problem. Citrus calcium that's connected up with magnesium, which you need, and the calcium need the D to be able to get to the bones. a lot of people are involved in pharmaceutical, what you call synthetic vitamins. Those are drugs. They are made in the laboratory. So you need to get organic food. So education can actually make a tremendous difference in providing the kind of lifestyle changes that's necessary. We cannot continue as we get a certain age the same principles that we did when we was young. We have to realize that our body is going through a different stage and we have to make changes.
Do you think that a lot of times or sometimes seniors ignore that, or people in general, because it is so healthy to go to the health food store or to get a prescription? At what point do you think that light bulb can come on? What can we say to make them realize that perhaps that they can accompany natural health with their doctor's care plan?
Well, I would say this. If we look at diabetes, cancer, heart attacks, with all they are doing, is the number of deaths related to those things going down? I'm just going to ask you that question. Is it going down?
It is not.
It is not going down. So what they are doing is not sufficient to decrease the numbers. So the definition of insanity or craziness is to continue to do the same thing and expect different results. So what we teach is natural approaches towards you empowering yourself by using natural foods, whole foods, using herbs and vitamins. And, you know, God made the best drugstore that anyone can ever want. There's white willow for pain, and there is herbs for, there is vitamin E, and all of that, antioxidants that deal with all kinds of problems related to Alzheimer's and dementia. There's antioxidants that deal with free radicals, and free radicals have a serious effect upon the cell of the body. So I think that we in America been practicing medicine a certain way. And by practicing medicine a certain way and not taking the person in consideration and let that person know that you're going to have to be your own first physician. You're going to have to take an active participation if you want to stay healthy. You can't depend on the doctor. That's going to him after you get sick. You need to try to stay healthy.
Thank you for joining me for this segment. That was quick, wasn't it?
Thank you.
You know, what I want to let you know that is to take the information from Elder Balahan and apply it to your life, and then do that. What we always say is when you take the information, take it to your doctor and work it together, work it into your health regimen for a better life. We thank you for joining me for this segment. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to have my seat? R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Moving is so much of who we are. It's easy to take it for granted. Multiple sclerosis stops people from moving. We exist to make sure it doesn't. Join the movement, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, at nationalmssociety.org.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Join Our Town. I'm your host, LaTrinda Cunningham Holland. So glad to join me for this segment. Sitting here with Elder Makinde Balahan with the Rapha Natural Health Institute. We're talking about your health today, the health of seniors, and how to age well and be happy and live a vital life.